Good afternoon again. Yesterday, late afternoon into the evening, I was notified by State's Attorney, Ms. Alsobrooks, that a grand jury had indicted an officer in reference to an assault case. That officer is Corporal Adey, A-D-E-Y. The incident occurred that these charges are stemming from August 4th, 2011. At that time, officers were responding to a sound of shots fired in the 6900 block of Walker Mill Road. At that time, there was a group of individuals that fled from the police. The assault the allegation against Corporal Adey occurred when he tried to stop one of those individuals. One of the things that we want to try and do, and that's why we're here today, is this department is committed to transparency and accountability. This case now moves to a trial setting, and we'll have to see how that plays out in the future. But we certainly honor and respect the grand jury process, and will abide and continue to work with the State's Attorney's Office in this case and any other case that may come up. This department is committed to ethical, professional, and constitutional policing. Yes, sir. Last night I got a phone call about 4:30 in the afternoon, so it was late yesterday afternoon.
And how long has been in the department?
R-I-C-K-I-E.
First name is Ricky, R-I-C-K-I-E. 10-year veteran.
And he's just been cited as a hero in the fire of this county.
Yes, sir. And he was a hero in that case. This incident occurred, like I said, last summer in August, and there were allegations of use of force that came to us. That investigation was completed by Major Pacheco and his division. It was submitted to the State's Attorney for their review. On her recommendation, it was given to the grand jury, and the grand jury, after weighing the evidence, decided there was enough evidence to go forward with the trial. It's not a guilty plea by any means. It's just that they made a decision that there was enough evidence to go forward for a trial. And again, we certainly respect the grand jury process, and we'll continue to work closely with the State's Attorney's Office. He's he's suspended and in a no-duty status. There'll be a suspension hearing Monday or Tuesday to evaluate that position.
Chief, just your reaction. I mean, just days after this gentleman is cited as a hero, and then hearing this about the charge.
Anytime you hear anything derogatory about an officer, it's disappointing. This is a great police department made up of great individuals, but we are humans, and this whole process is going to have to play itself out. Again, the grand jury process is not an indictment of guilt. It's just that they felt that there was enough evidence to take it to trial. But it is saddening, makes you disappointed that this came up now, especially on top of everything that he did just the other day, risking his life to save members of our community.
What is he alleged to have done?
It's an assault. There was a chase, and I don't want to get into a whole lot of details, but it was an assault. The indictment is for first-degree, second-degree assault, and malfeasance in office. So that's what it was. But it was stemming from an initial call that he was responding to for sounds of shots fired in the area. And as he went to stop this individual, a struggle ensued, and there was a use of force.
What would you say to the residents of the county who may hear this and shake their head?
Well, I think if you look at the process, I think you look at this department and you see what we do every day. This is a great department, and you can ask the community, and I think they'll tell you the same thing. But the big piece with this is the complaint came in to us, the police department. We followed up on that investigation, consulted with the state's attorney, and made sure she was aware of all of the elements of that case. At her recommendation, it was given to the grand jury. That's our process in this country. And no matter who it is, it still has to run that process. So I think as a citizen of this county, looking at this, I mean, it's disappointing like we were talking about, especially after literally risked his life 3 or 4 days ago. But any kind of complaint we take seriously. We're not going to step away from it, and we're going to make sure that it's reviewed at every level to make sure that we're doing the right thing. I see nothing but positive as far as the community looking at are we taking care of what we need to do to make sure that we're doing what we need to be doing as far as ethical, professional, and constitutional policing.
What use of force was used?
There was hands, feet, that type of thing. His gun was displayed at one point, so that's another piece of it. But all the details will come out in trial. But it certainly rose to a level that it needed to be reviewed, and it was referred by the state's attorney, who we continue to work with every day, very closely, to the grand jury, made up of citizens of our county, who looked at all the facts and said, this needs to go to trial. Again, it's not
First degree and second degree assault.
Yes.
Any other officers involved?
No.
Final question?
Evidence is being reviewed? I mean, was it just a complaint, or was there like video that somebody recorded? I'm just trying to see what evidence was considered.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, at the grand jury, the complainant in this case testified. Corporal 80 testified. There is a video, or not a video, I'm sorry. There was an audio tape of the 911, but to the dispatcher that was played for the grand jury. And looking at all of that evidence, they came up with this decision, which obviously we respect. I mean, that's what we ask our citizens to do, and it now starts into the process of a trial, and we'll have to see how that works its way through the system.